Today we're going to do a carburetor on a Predator 3500 inverter generator. The recoil side's got no screws. I haven't done one of these yet, so this is going to be a learning experience for all of us. I'm going to pop out these two screws and take this cover off to see if that's where the carburetor is. Right, I was right. So there's a snap in the middle right here, and then the bottom just sits in these slots like that, and it snaps in. So pull this out of the way. There's, a handle. Pull that up out of the way, grab that, and it pops it right out. Get this out of the way. Alright, that's spark plug right here. If you need to change your spark plug, air filter is right over here. So now we need to get the air filter cover off. There's a clip on the bottom. We're going to go ahead and pop that. Get this out of here. You got to remove this hose to be able to get it out of there. Now once you've gotten this out, you've got a 10 millimeter here and a 10 millimeter here. There's usually one on the, and you got one right back here. Take those three 10 millimeters out. Pull the air filter assembly off. This hose pulls right off. Get this right out of the way. If it pops out, it's not a big deal. It just plugs back into this guy back here in the back. No biggie. That's all. Alright, now slide the whole carburetor forward. It can stick. There it goes. It will come free. You're going to get this off, and it lifts straight up out and comes out of there. This right here will stick right back on the other. It'll stick right back in that. So this is wide open. Make sure that your choke is. Make sure your thing is run when you do this, because it's going to be the other way if it isn't. That way this is open automatically. Take your gasket off, be gentle with it. Now you can pull this carburetor off. Oh, wait a minute, nope. Grab the fuel line. Take the fuel line off, pair of pliers, get that clamp. Now this carb should pull straight out all the way. You don't need to disconnect any of this. All you got to do is flip the carburetor upside down. Now take the 10 millimeter bolt off and remove the bowl. Just make sure you don't lose this gasket. If it's stuck on the carburetor, just leave it there. You got the bowl off. See, it's a little dirty in there. We're going to clean that. We're going to push this pin out. We're going to pull it out and get the float and needle valve out. Okay, now with a can of carb cleaner, you're going to have a little straw. Put the straw on your can of carb cleaner. You're going to spray through this hole, make sure it sprays out very well and easy. Spray through this hole in the middle, that's the main jet. Make sure that's clear. Spray through here and here, make sure all that's clear. And just keep spraying it, keep going, just get it nice and clean. There's also, underneath this idle screw, you're going to take this idle screw here. Let me get this. This idle screw right here, you're going to turn clockwise in and count the turns till it snugs up. Then you can take it all the way out and then put a flat screwdriver here and pry this up and pop this out. This is the idle circuit. You're going to have to spray that out really good as well. So from experience on all of the little Honda clone generators I've done, the idle screw is 4 full turns out. So see, this has a little jet inside of it as well. We got to clean that really well. So we're going to go through all these and clean all these orifices now. Alright, so you got it nice and clean. This is very important. This is when your generator's surging. It's this circuit. You don't want your generator surging when you're trying to run your refrigerators. You'll burn up refrigerators and stuff like that. Alright, now we're going to put, when we put this back in, it's got flat sides on it. Those go against the carburetor itself, so it'll only fall down when you line it up. It'll only fall in when you line it up, just like that. Now we're going to make sure we clean this bowl out. I use a flathead screwdriver and I just scrape it all out with a flathead screwdriver. Rinse it with carb cleaner and use a rag with it, wet rag with carb cleaner, and just scrub the rest of it out. Get it all nice and clean. Any of this breaks free and gets back into your carburetor, it'll go right up in your jet, clog it, and shut it right off. Put the float needle valve back in and put the pin back in to secure it. Once you got the bowl all cleaned out, you're going to reinstall it. You're going to make sure that this screw is towards the choke arm so that you can easily access it to drain it. Is that where it goes? Oh, you know what? No, it's going to go to the right. It's going to go to the left side of the carburetor. The opposite side of this is where it's going to go. That way it's easily accessible when you need to drain it. Alright, and then you're going to go ahead and make sure that you still got the gasket between the engine and the carburetor. Stick it back on there and get it pushed all the way in place. Make sure nothing's behind it getting trapped or pinched, because we don't want anything keeping you from getting good fuel suction. So the wires are out of the way, hoses are out of the way, everything. Before we go too far with this, we're going to go ahead and make sure that we drain the whole tank. This should be gravity fed, or no, this is a fuel pump fed machine. So we're going to have to find the fuel line coming out the bottom, which is right here possibly. Oh, right here. So we're going to pull this off. We're going to pull this line off of here, and we're going to stab another line on and let that gravity feed out and drain it all out. Get everything out of the tank. We're trying to see where that pickup is, because this isn't draining any fuel. It may be clogged. That definitely looks like the fuel outlet to me, so I believe we may have to unscrew that. This line goes back to what appears to be the fuel pump in the back there. It looks like I've got a clogged thing, so if it's clogged, you're going to go ahead and take it out. Hopefully I'm doing the right thing here. As I expected, it's completely clogged. So we're going to go ahead and poke this with a wire and spray it all out with a carb cleaner. So now that's completely clean. Let me give you a little light here. There we go. Got it nice and clean, nice wide open hole through it, the way it's supposed to be. Once you got it all drained out, reattach the fuel line. Reattach the fuel line. Then we're going to put some gas in it to make sure that the carburetor doesn't leak now that it's got, it's all been cleaned out. Make sure that the needle valve's sealing properly. That seems okay. So now we're going to go ahead and put our choke arm on. So choke is in the off position, which will be run or off. And you're going to put this arm right on the other side of that flap. You see the hole, there's a hole right on top where we need it to be. It needs to be right in that. So we're going to try to get that arm. It's hard to do it with one hand, but I'll get it. Get right in that flap. See, it's getting right in there.